Live. We are live on YouTube. We are live on Instagram. And I am going live on Facebook. I'm going live. I'm going live on Facebook. Oh, I am live on Facebook right now, and I am live on Instagram. I'm live on YouTube as well. Hello, my wonderful people. Hello, wonderful listeners. Thank you for joining me tonight. Welcome back to the Diamond Lady TV. This is the Diamond Lady Show. And tonight I am here all by myself, together with you, my viewers and my listeners, to talk about the topic grief. That is something which is dear to my heart, okay? And before I go ahead and introduce this whole topic to everybody who is watching me on Facebook, on Instagram, and on YouTube, I am going to start by sharing this program on Facebook by myself, okay? And then I will introduce the program all over again. I am quite excited to be here. This topic is definitely dear to my heart. If you are coming to watch me tonight, or if you're watching me tonight, not that if you're coming to watch me tonight, you've got to be here to watch me tonight. If you're watching me tonight, just say a hi, hello, leave us a comment, give us a thumbs up, which is also very necessary. Share this program to your own group or page. Let others know I am live. Let's talk about this very dear topic as well, okay? So as I said, I am sharing it myself, okay, to pages and to groups and to all other places so that I can also get others involved in this topic. You can also come and share your ideas and contributions with us on this topic as well, okay? So it's just a matter of share with people. If the people you would like to share this program with are not on Facebook, don't worry. We are on YouTube and we are on Instagram. They just need to type in Diamond Lady TV and we are going to pop up just like that, and you will see me live on there. Today I am all by myself. I don't have anyone with me. That is totally okay. That is totally fine. So just as I said, I am sharing this first, and then I will go ahead and then reintroduce this program all over again. Honestly, I am very excited to be here. Let's share to one last place. We're there, I think. And then we will go ahead with it. Okay. I am so excited to be here. So you notice in the background, I'm just playing a very mild music. Hopefully it is mild enough and it's not too loud. It's not distracting you from what I am going to talk about tonight. Hello, wonderful people. Hello, wonderful viewers. Good evening and welcome once again to the Diamond Lady TV. This is the Diamond Lady Show and I'm your girl, Diamond Lady. So today, I am here to talk about the topic grief, okay? And with grief, everybody in this world experiences it. Before I go ahead and go into the topic grief, I would like to remind you once again, if you're watching us tonight or you're watching us later on, don't forget to leave us a thumbs up. Don't forget to leave us a comment, and don't forget to share with other people for others to also enjoy this program. And don't you forget to also comment, bring your own ideas, bring your questions. Let's make it an exciting program. I love this program myself. Don't forget, tell us where you're watching us from. And I mean, you can tell us a whole lot, okay? If you've got any topic you would like us to discuss on this program next time as well, you can drop it for us and then we'll pick it from there and we will discuss it. And I am Diamond Lady again. I will first and foremost like to say a very big thank you to our supporting sponsors who are constantly supporting us day in and day out. So we've got Sister Eats Fit Lose. It's all about a healthy lifestyle. And at the moment, there is a 20-day jump rope challenge going on there. I am going to leave the information on the banner on Facebook so that you can join them. So if you're on Instagram or YouTube, just search for Sister Eat Fit Lose. It's all about the healthy living and the healthy lifestyle, okay? Then we are also saying a very big thank you to St. Maya Dryline Limited. They are one of the big companies here in England doing dry lining. We also like to say thank you to Sinaka Kitchen. They are at Luton. It's all about the Ghanaian dishes. Would like to say thank you to Mama Z European Shop. They are in Ghana. They sell everything keto, everything healthy. Then we would like to say a very big thank you to Sister United Foundation for supporting people all over the place, especially when it comes to their needs and then them finding somewhere to stay. We'd also like to say a very big thank you to Sister United Foods for all the products they sell, everything natural, banku, fufu, the jollof mix, the 10 spice blend, the soyalicious, and all other things, and even their buffet mix as well. Okay, it's so delicious. Find them on eBay, and then they sell some in Ghana as well. Find Family Affair GH on Facebook, Instagram as well. Find Family Affair GH. You can buy puff from them in Ghana. And I would also like to say a very big thank you to Sweet Seduction for supporting us all the time, and a very big thank you to two dear sisters, Hannah and their sister Tanya as well. So if you're looking to buy everything cake wise, everything to do with party wise, look for Tits Bits Yummies. They are on Instagram and they are on Facebook as well. You can buy your cake and your pastries from them, and I will bring the rest of the thank you later. I don't have to forget NK Puzzles. It's all about the photography, okay? If you want to take photos, if you want your programs to be covered and videos and all that, contact NK Puzzles. They are in Ghana and they are going to cover it all for you. Don't forget, if you're here watching us tonight, leave us a thumbs up. Tell us where you're watching us from. Leave us a comment if you've got a question and everything. Okay, would like you to join in this. Let's make it an interesting program tonight. Sorry, and hopefully it's going to be a good one. Try na medici kakra afa asama meba bekenyo. It's not only going to be English, it's going to be a mixture of Chi and English. Besides, brofo enya mekasa. Enya no dia de wo me, enya no dia de twa me fruma. But na try my best. Oh, me ka brofo kakra, na ma ka Chi kakra. Oh, eni nyina ye de boa ye ho. Enti na me ba betna ha. Eya me diamond lady. Musum pafo no. Ene na maba. So me ba beka about arehodie ho. That is grief. Arehodie eye grief. Ebia there's a different word for it. Wherever you are from, tell us how you say grief in your own language. Maybe I'm not saying it right. In my own language, it is arehudie, wudi arehuo, okay? So, grief is something that is inevitable. It's just like death, okay? Everybody has someone in life, okay? And at a stage in life, the way life has been created by our maker, depending on whichever religion you are in. You know, every religion have their own beliefs, okay? We all know that there is something called death, okay? We all know that we lose people. In some religion, they believe that there is reincarnation. In other religion, they believe that they go into the second world. And so many things Christians believe we're going to meet them one day in heaven. It's just so many things that we believe in when it comes to death, okay? But tonight, the grief that I want to talk about, it's not only to do with death, because usually when we say grief, so normally you can say, arehudia, de yataije one say, obi be frimo, obi tofu be frimo, obi mie be frimo, obi yonko pa be frimo, obi ma menen na nesewa, se biompo. Obi a umpel no asam crown so to me free mo. Or enemy to me free mo. You know, there are frenemies that die as well. There are mothers, fathers, sisters, cousins, children, We lose lots of people all the time. But tonight's grief is not only about losing the life. Grief comes in different forms, okay? So someone might start to grieve because they might have lost their job. Someone might start to grieve because maybe they have to move out of their comfortable zone, especially when it has to do with maybe moving your wherever you are with your family. Maybe you're with your family, you have to move somewhere else to a different country, not maybe a different continent, okay? So some people tend to grieve, okay? And I've already talked about losing your job, maybe losing a huge amount of money. There are so many things that will cause you to grieve, or that will cause you to have a sadden of heart and a sadden of mind. Okay. So grief is not just a simple thing as we think it is. I will use England as an example because I live in England. Okay. Some English people, not everyone, some English people believe that when someone dies, okay, the grieving process should take at least a week, 2 weeks, 3 weeks, 4 weeks. That is it. But I'm a black girl. I mean, I'm a Ghanaian, okay? I am an African. Africans, we've got our own dynamics. We've got our own culture, our own rituals. Everything is quite different, totally different. People who lose people, that is the mourning process, okay? When you're mourning someone, it's all classified under the topic of grief, okay? When you lose someone, you start to grieve, okay? You start to grieve after your loss, after maybe you've lost your mom or dad, you start to grieve, okay? And it's not an easy thing in life. I am only talking from experience, okay? I cannot just sit here and say, oh, grief is that, grief is that, grief is that. But I am only here to talk from my own experience with what I have experienced with grief. That is why the topic is all about grief and how I deal with mine, okay? So I have lost so many people along the way, grandparents, those I was close to, those I wasn't close to. I've lost a friend who was like a sister to me, my best friend, okay? Yes, I've had so many best friends in this world, but this is the very one I would say is my best friend because we did a whole lot of things together. And I am surprised today I am opening up so well about this losing my best friend because it's been almost 14 years. Is it 14 years? Yes, this year since I lost her. And talking about people that we've lost is not an easy thing. So before I go ahead and even go about talking about my friend and all that, once grief comes our way, okay, we become sort of like in a denial process, okay? Our mind and our whole body, especially when you're called over the phone or when someone tells you, hey, what's your sababa? Hey, hey, you know, sometimes we just deny it. Then we go, that's not true. You're lying. So there is the denial position, okay, where we deny the fact that that thing has happened, that there is something going on, okay? And then even though the grieving process starts from we denying the fact that we have lost a loved one, there is also the anger time that comes in. Because once you are told, okay, different things start running through your mind. We are human. Then you're thinking, hey, what should I have done that I didn't do? Did I love this person more or did I not love this person more? Did this person request from something from me and I didn't give, or did I request from something from the person and the person didn't give me? You know, a whole lot runs through our mind. But that anger time, okay, sometimes we become angry because we are thinking, why did people not invite me to go and sit with the person? Or why did this person, people not tell me? So I will go and share my last words of wisdom or take some blessings from the person. There are so many things that will put us in the state of being angry. Sometimes we get angry with ourselves. Sometimes we get angry with the people around us. Sometimes we get angry with the society. And even most especially, we also sometimes get angry with our maker, our creator. I will talk from a Christian's point of view. Sometimes we just say, Nyame, why? God, why? Why me? Why me? And that is when sometimes people start to just walk away from their religion because they are thinking, if this so-called God, as some people say, so-called God is alive, why did you take my loved one away? Why did you take that good person in my life away? You know, and in our own language in Ghana, they says, "Nipa papa for omontna sasi sonche." With this, my friend that I lost 14 years ago, you know, she was the one best thing, one good people. Not only because she was my friend, that is why I'm talking like this. Anybody else will tell you that she was one of the best angels you would have ever met on this planet Earth. Okay? And it wasn't easy because in my own thoughts, in my own mind, I just thought, when she died, she got ill for just 3 days. And that 3 days, the very time that she got ill, was the time she had returned from an all-night service. So going to serve God, going to pray as a Christian, going to pray. She had come from all-night service. She fell ill at least about 30 minutes after the all-night service, after she had gotten home. And that was it. Within 3 days, that was it. So you sometimes you just sit down, and then I remember getting angry at God and saying, God, why? Why? We are quite young. This is the peak of our lives. We need to be living a happy life. My friend and I have dreams. We have aspirations. We've thought of having a fashion company. We've thought of having building houses one across each other, and she will come and beg me for pepper. I will go and beg her for tomatoes. You know, we used to have such discussions. We used to have a whole lot to say. You know, if you know me, I'm a very, very bubbly person, and she is like 2 times me. So you can just imagine the two of us. We were just like kerosene and fire. Wherever we went to, everybody knew we were there. Well, I'll leave that bit about the anger bit because I remember I was very, very angry. I was fuming, okay? Then some people, after they've lost someone, they go into the state of depression. So depression in the sense that their feelings of not wanting to do anything, okay? And then they feel helpless, okay? And the other thing is they feel very, very vulnerable. And it's true, when you lose someone or when you're going through the grieving process, you feel very, very vulnerable. I remember when I lost my friend, my mom was alive then. She kept on advising me and saying to me, you've got to be careful, because this is the time some people take advantage of you because they know you are vulnerable. They will know how to lure you, to get you to do things you wouldn't want to do, which you might regret in future. Okay, so the state of depression when it comes to grief is very, very real. Most people experience it. Okay, and as I said, grief is quite dynamic and is different to each person. Obia was this year, Odina Rare Wofa. Obi oha obesu, obi oha onsu. Obi oha obedi ho nkomo, obi oha so a ondi ho nkomo. Eyen nsem bebre che say grief ne de e kose nsem bebre wo nipa brabom, you know. And also, aside people going through depression, there is also the state of anxiety and then the state of shock. With shock, you know, just when you get a phone call, that is when you go into that state of shock. Okay, sometimes you just might throw your phone away. If it is the phone they tell you over it, you just throw it away. Some people go mad. Some people just go mad. I remember when I was told I had lost my best friend. I'm always talking about my best friend, not because I don't love my mom. I love my mom so much. I will mention my mom along the way as well. When I was told my friend I had lost my friend, I remember I was in Osu in Ghana, okay, and I was just walking into a restaurant or something. I was not actually in the right state of mind because I was calling every minute. You know, I was with her for all those 3 days, but the third day I actually had to go to work because it was a new job. Okay. And I remember going to her in the morning that day, and she said to me, Essentia, don't go. She just said to me when I went to her, don't go. Those 3 days, the 2 days I was sleeping in her bed with her in the hospital. Okay. But that day I had to go home, dress, and go to work. And she said to me, don't go to work. I want you here with me. Please don't go. Me being told that she had passed away, when they told me, I was just like, I was just having that feeling of regret. Why did I go? She said, don't go. If I lose this job, will I not find another job? In my mind, in my heart, I didn't think she was going to die. Okay. So I went into the state of a shock. It was a very, very bad shock. Okay. Then the denial and then the disbelief set in. I kept on saying it's not true, it's not true. But do you know what the hospital did? Do you know what my friend's family did? They left her in her bed for me to come and verify it was true. Yes, they did. And when I got there, I remember the crowd, the number of people who were waiting outside the hospital, ushering me in to go and verify for myself that she was no more. Okay. And then there's the state of numbness where what teacher say, you're not too sure. You don't even want to talk. You don't feel like talking. There's all that. That is natural. We are human and we all may experience it. Some may experience it. Other people might not experience it. Before I go ahead to talk on, let me just read a few comments from Facebook. So we've got Tanya, and she says, hiya. Then she says, wow, wow, wow. Tanya is my ambulance. So she's going, wow, wow, wow. Then she also says, thanks so much for the recommendation. Yes, she's the owner of Titbits Yummies. And that's in Ghana, a company in Ghana. Then we've got Nana Kwame Witty saying, watching you from Ghana. Thank you so much for watching me tonight. So I will go ahead with my discussion for tonight as well. So we also go into the state of being in a surprise state, where we are shocked and surprised and in denial about whatever has happened. We're losing a loved one. Our mental health gets affected so badly. Most people, their mental health gets affected so badly. So I am now going to go ahead and talk about my mom. My late mom, actually. So after I lost my late mom, yale, I will just fast forward. There was a time that I had to go back home, bury my mom, and then decide what I want to do next in life. So yes, I went back home, buried my mom, and my dad was definitely at the verge. I was at the verge of losing my own dad as well, and there was no way I wanted to lose my dad right after I had lost my mom. I knew that, yes, at some point, yes, everybody in our lives will die and all that. And I might have to experience the grieving process all over again. But then I was not ready for one to happen after the other. There are people that I know who have lost both parents at the same time. There are people that I know who have lost parents or family ones or loved ones, one after the other, weeks apart, days apart, months apart. And I know how hard it's been for all these people. I was not ready to lose my dad. I remember at that time when I lost my mom and I went home for the funeral, just around that same time when I lost my mom, I was getting married. I was getting prepared to get married for the second time, okay? And my fiance was here back in England because he was an English person. And obviously I am a Ghanaian and I have to go back home and do the needful for my mom, okay? I did whatever I had to do. And because my dad was in a bad state, there was no way I was going to leave my dad after a month, okay? So I had to stay on. And on and on and on. I remember 1 week came, 2 weeks came, 3 weeks came, and then my then partner was was getting quite agitated and was just thinking, what is wrong with you? When someone dies, it takes just a week or two for you to move on. Why are you still there grieving your mom? Why are you still there feeling sad? You should change your whole mood again. But this is an English person who doesn't understand our culture. And aside it being a culture wise, okay, we are individuals. And our grieving process is different. It's just dynamic to different people. Someone might lose someone and get over that person within a week. Others will take them their entire lifetime to get over the loss of a loved one. So fast forward, in the end, there was just too much pressure, too much stress coming from this person. So we just had to call it quits, okay? So it's like I've lost my mom and I have lost a partner. Obviously we were willing and ready to get married, but then the stress was just too much for me. I believe that losing a partner, you can always find another partner, but you can never find another mom. You can never find another dad. Even though you might want to use other people to replace these people, these your loved ones, it's not the same as replacing a boyfriend or a husband or all that. It was a tough decision for me, but I had to come to that stand and stand firm and say, you know what? I am not leaving my dad here. I am not leaving my dad to die. I am still going to keep on grieving my mom as long as I want. I remember sticking with my dad for about 4 or 5 months. Yes, I was living in Ghana with my dad for that long because I needed my dad to be strong enough. I needed to keep on grieving my mom. The 4 or 5 months wasn't the end of me grieving. No. I kept on grieving, and the grieving process is not easy. Sometimes you have to cry. Sometimes you have to lock yourself up. Sometimes you have to shout out loud. But then people around you, the society around you, friends around you might not understand you. I've been there. Some people may just wonder, why are you still crying? It's been a month. It's been 2 months. It's been 3 months. It's been a year. It's been 2 years. You're still crying. You're still mourning. You are still grieving over this loved one that you lost months ago, years ago. I am here. I'm still grieving someone I lost 14 years ago. I am here still grieving someone I lost 5 years ago, 4 years ago, because I don't want to forget them. Yes, the rate at which I used to cry, the rate at which I used to think so much about them has reduced, but then it's never gone away. So as I said, grief is just dynamic. It's unique to you as an individual. You decide for yourself when you want the grieving process to end, and I doubt it will ever end for you. Okay, we just tend to fit ourselves into society. We just help to get ourselves back into society as quick as possible, so that we are not rejected by society. But then at the back of our mind, at the back of our brains, we tend to still grieve. Okay, sometimes when people are grieving, they become very, very hostile. They become angry. Sometimes you might even think they are rude. Okay, they might reject phone calls. They wouldn't want to go to places where people are. But sometimes too, when you're grieving, you are so scared that you always want to be with someone. I remember losing my best friend. When I lost my best friend, to me, that was the most closest person I had ever lost. We did everything together. We showered together. We ate together. We did everything together. We even went to work together, because I remember taking her to my interview with me and saying to my interviewer, I come in too. You pick me, you pick her. Yes, I am that crazy. All right, you've accepted my application. Yes, you are taking me on, take her on. Without her, I am not working. So we were like intertwined. We did everything together. So losing this friend of mine was just too much for me. To me, I don't call her as a friend, I call her as a sister. I'm part of her family just like that. Okay. And this loss, losing someone, has never been easy. I remember when I lost her, it wasn't easy for me to even step out of a bedroom. It wasn't even easy for me to be left all by myself. I remember I had this boyfriend. He went through a lot with me because if I go to the toilet, he must come with me to the toilet because of fear. I was going through some fear, panic, anxiety. I was going through a whole lot. So you see, it was a grieving process for me, but it's totally normal. My entire mental health got affected. Even if I walked to the kitchen, this person had to come with me. If I needed water, this person has to come with me. If I'm going to do number two, whatever I was doing, I had to go with someone because I was in the panic mood. I was in an overwhelmed mood. I was in a mood of, should I say, misfeelings. I wasn't sure what was happening to me. I felt I was dying as well. Yes, grief sometimes makes us feel like that. I also want kasakra sokra wonam ho ye de nipa ya wawi sometimes obi wu I say aye me no beko me ma me no beko me hwan me no beko. Sometimes it's so hard, it hits us so badly, it's such a shock that we just are not able to embrace it. That is entirely normal. Most times, people around us, people who are watching us, people who are not feeling our pain, will start saying to us, stop crying, it's okay. Don't cry anymore, it's okay. You'll be bringing the dead back. No, don't tell people to stop crying. Grief is unique, and mourning is a part of grief. When you are mourning, someone is a part of grief. From my experience, yes, I cried. I cried bitterly. All the people I lost in my life, I cried bitterly because I get attached to people in my life so easily. I feel comfortable with people in my life so easily. Sometimes, even when your enemy dies, that is, if you know your enemies, I wonder, maybe sometimes some friends turns into enemies and then you tend to call them frenemies, okay? Because obviously they've either walked out of your life or they've done something in your life and you're thinking that they are no longer your friend. So they've become an enemy. Even with those people, you still have a sense of feeling. You still feel sad within yourself. Sometimes, as I said, sometimes you would say that, oh God, this is that person I wanted to live longer to see where I'm getting to in life. This is that person I wanted to be alive to see how best or where God is taking me or where things are going to go in my life, but they are gone. You still feel that pain. You grieve for these people unknowingly because and then sometimes it's just a matter of remembrance. It's like you're remembering that person in whichever way. So then when we talk of grief, okay, it becomes like a learning curve, a learning process for us. You might lose someone today, and then finding your coping strategy is not easy for you. But then as we lose people one after the other, you tend to find different types of coping energy, coping mechanism for your own self. Yes, I lost grandparents, but the way I mourned my grandparents was totally different from the way I mourned my best friend, because my best friend was like that with me. She never went there without me going there. No, I wasn't going there. I was always going with her. Or if I go there, she will come with me. So losing such people is so hard because you do everything together. Even when you're going to take your shower and you remember the person, you're thinking, oh God, I'm so sad. In everything, you feel so sad. But then the coping strategy, here comes the coping strategy. I learned it the hard way. It wasn't easy for me to get there, but then eventually I learned to cope because it was very hard for me. Hey, so me catch you what? Mintumi mpo kitchen ko no nsuo. Mintumi fa me kwa me kutumi kodwunso. Me kodwunso kwan na me frɛ me ma bra wa e begina ho asama jonso. Da bra why me kofa panel boy me na me fa panel because I was so scared. I was in a panicking scared mindset. You know, sometimes that when we lose someone, we've got the fear about ghost, that, ghost this, ghost that, and all that. Yes, we do have that fear. There are times that I've had things drop, and you know what I was saying to myself sometimes? I just mentioned the name of the people that I know I have lost in my life. I just go, hey, man. It's one why I said you and I say, hey, yeah, it's what Bahana woman meant to you know, it was my coping strategy. It was a way for me to overcome the fear in my life because I was going through something that I needed to overcome it. Sometimes I feel it looks like someone is touching me, or it feels like someone is standing next to me, and then I turn it into a joke for myself because I want to overcome the fear. And sometimes I remember saying to myself, fear, you have no power over me. Fear, you have no power over me. I want to be that same person I used to be. Yes, I might change, but then don't change me completely. Fear, you have no power over me. Yes, we go through fear. We become very, very restless when we lose someone or when we're going through a grieving process. Some people experience sleeplessness. You cannot sleep. I remember I couldn't sleep without anybody next to me. There has to be someone next to me before I fall asleep. But if I wake up with no one next to me, I will shout for the whole world. Because I am going through fear, anxiety, everything, panicking, overwhelming. I will jump up and run out through the door and make sure I find myself where there is people. Because that is the kind of grief I was going through. So just as I said, we all go through grieving process differently. Some might not be able to sleep, which I've already mentioned. Some people will become very, very restless and they might have to find something to do. That is normal. Some people as well, their appearance, their physical appearance changes completely. Okay? Just obi wo hokra onje hu nkra say onunu ni tim ontwitwi ne se atade a hye no won sesan because they are going through some grief process, and sometimes people around them will have to be the one hinting them and reminding them and telling them that you've forgotten to do that, because some people go into the state of forgetfulness. Yes, and it's all part of grieving process. The state of forgetfulness falls on for some people, or the state of I don't care. So they don't care about what they are wearing. They don't care about what they are doing to themselves. It's like they've lost all hope because they only know what that person or whom that person meant to them. It could be just a mere friend. It could be a pastor. It could be a mentor. It could be someone is looking up to. It could be someone who had dreams and hope and aspirations for this person. It all falls apart for these people. A whole lot falls apart for these people. But I will use my mom as an example. Yes, when I lost my mom, it wasn't easy. Losing a mom is never easy. No matter what, even if you don't love your mom, don't forget your mom first loved you because you are still alive. That person who brought you to this world definitely loves you. That is why you're still alive. Even if that person is insulting you, causing havoc in your life, destroying your marriages or destroying your relationships, doing a whole lot in your life, remember, that person loves you. That person loves you from that minute you fell into their womb. Yes, there are people who do diverse things, who do so many things to destroy their fetus. But this person never destroyed you. Made you go on in life, and then you are grown up enough. Some people look back and then start calling their moms and dads different names and all that because they think they are witches, they think they are all sort of. Glory be to God. I never called my mom that. I am so grateful I never did. I'm so grateful I never got to that stage, and I would have never got into that stage because even the Bible says honor your mom and your dad, and I was just doing that. I have a very, very great bond with my mom. Yes, as a child, if you're stubborn, you get smacked, you get disciplined and all that. That is, as a child, that is past and gone. If they are talking about abuse, I'm sure everybody in Africa would go and say they've been abused by a parent in one way or the other. But that is our culture. Our culture is to smack us, to straighten us up and all that. Don't let that stop you from loving your mom or your dad. And I am so pleased I had the very best relationship with my mom. Okay? So losing her was just a shock. I never thought I would lose her because I believe she was one of the strongest women ever. The kind of advices she was given, the kind of encouragement she was given, even her last video recording to me. As at now, when I go back to listen to that video recording, it sounds to me it was her goodbye message. I still have that video recording. I still return to that video recording. That is a memory for me. That is an advice for me to carry on in life. I remember in the video recording, she telling me, there is no bad job in this world. Even if you're paid a penny, do it and do it well. Because that is what will put food on your table. That is the only job that people will look to and not say, oh, something is missing. She's the one who stole it because she's jobless. There are so many advice in this recording, which I see as a memory for me. Whenever I feel mom advised me, that is the first video I go to. Yes, there are other videos, but that very last video is the video that I go to and listen to. Because each time that I go to that video, I pick a new advice from that video. I don't know why, but each time I go, I was like, how did I miss that bit that she said? Grief sometimes toughens us. Grief sometimes breaks us apart. Coming to join society, it's not always the case for some people. It's quite hard. Some people hide away forever. Some people don't have the strength to rise up again. In my own case, I am still grieving my mom, but then for a whole year and over, I never worked. Not that I didn't want to work, but for about 6 months, I was taking care of my dad and grieving at the same time. Got back to England, so much to sort out because breaking up with a partner alone caused me a lot as well. So within that 1 year of grieving, or more than 1 year of grieving, it wasn't easy. I was constantly crying, panicking, feeling rejected, feeling my mom didn't love me enough. That's why she just went away. There was just so many things that were going through my mind. And that is the effect of grief. It affects our mental health. It affects our behavior. It affects what we do. Sometimes we may lose the appetite, the need to eat, the need to cook, the need to do so many things for ourselves because we are grieving. Yes, sometimes we need reminders. The people around us needs to give us that hope. The people around us needs to give us that love. I remember my sister. All my siblings were very, very helpful. But the very one I am here in England with is the one I could readily reach out to. Is the one I could live in her home with. Is the one who could give me all the encouragement. My mom's passing away hit her, I would say maybe twice more than myself. It hit us both. Yes, it did. She was feeling it so much, just as I was feeling it. We all might definitely have some regrets here and there. I had my own regrets because I thought, I went to see my mom 3 months ago. How come she's dead 3 months after? How come she didn't get ill when I was there? I was just thinking, I didn't have enough money to buy another ticket to go. It's never easy. You start feeling like you're blaming yourself. Sometimes people around us say that God knows best. Yes, it's true, God knows best. When you lose someone or when you're mourning someone, that's when you forget totally about the man you worship or the person you worship. You forget about your religion because sometimes you start playing the blaming game and saying, God, why me? I remember when I lost my mom before I went back home. That time I had my partner with me and we were driving. Whenever I was going somewhere, I always insisted I wanted to drive. And I remember most times when people cross me wrongly, I would start swearing and shouting, and then I'll burst out crying and saying, look at all these stupid people. They are still alive. But my mom, who is a good person, God, you took her away. I remember I did that so many times, and I remember then my then ex-partner, now he's my ex, obviously, then used to say to me, don't say that, don't think that way. You don't know that person is also somebody's mom, that the person is also somebody's dad. You don't know how good maybe that person is, or because they've come to cross your path, or because they've done something, you are just ranting your anger on them. That is what grief does to us. The best ways I dealt with my grief is crying when I needed to cry. I didn't let people stop me. There were times I wanted to shout, and I shouted. Yes, I did. There were times I wanted to scream. And the best place to scream was the toilet. I'll go to the toilet. I will fold the towel up, tuck it in my mouth, and scream as hard as I can. Because that was the only way to relieve myself of the pain, of the grief I was going through. Everybody have their own coping strategy. I am only here to share my own coping strategy because I thought that could also help someone. As at now, I am still grieving. Yes, you might see me jump around, you might see me laugh, you might see me dance, but that is part of my coping mechanism. Getting to that stage was not easy for me. Getting my sanity back, getting my mental health on the right path again was not easy. All I used to say was, Mom, what was it we discussed about? Mom, what was it that we talked about? My friend, yeah, what was it that we said we were going to do? I am going to make you all proud. I just allow my memory to take me back to things we discussed, things we talked about, the advices. I remember my friend, yeah, used to say to me, Mommy, VC, I will pray for you. I will pray with you. But you alone know how much whatever you're praying about means to you. So you need to press and press hard on it. And that is something that I always remember. That is something that always keeps me going. I need to press and press hard with whatever I am asking my maker for. I need to work and work hard. I remember my mom loved it when I used to do a lot of sewing and all that. So after losing her, yes, it took a while. It took my sister the longest ever time of talking and encouraging to encourage me to even go back to work. It wasn't easy. Hey, Josie, thank you because you've really helped me in life. I don't know where I would have been by now. Grief process could take our entire life. It could take over everything we do. But finding that coping mechanism to work along with it is the only way forward. Don't let anyone tell you otherwise. Don't let anyone tell you to throw the memories about you and that person away. My coping mechanism was talking positively and talking about all the good things, all the lovely things about the people I had lost in my life. That made me extra happy. That made me feel so proud that, yes, I was able to love someone that much. I was able to listen to that person. I was able to do this with that person. I was able to say this with that person. Sometimes I lay back in my bed and I still talk to them because I feel they are just standing next to me or sitting next to me. Because I'm that crazy. Yes, I am crazy. Call me crazy. But to me, that is the coping mechanism. That is a way of eliminating fear and putting happiness in there. Sometimes I sit down and then I say, what if she comes to sit here now? Will I run? Will I talk to the person? How would I feel? How would I behave? Sometimes you have dreams about your loved ones, the people you have lost. And sometimes you feel it's so real. Sometimes I go to parties with them in my dream. Yes, there are people who go to pastors and pastors will say to them, that is not right. That is that. That is that. That is that. Right, that's okay. What if I don't come talking to a pastor? I keep it to myself. I am still alive. I am still living. I am still enjoying whatever I am going through in life and enjoying my little chats with people I feel are around me, even though I can't see with my naked eyes. Our loved ones never goes away. The people we've lost are always constantly with us. Sometimes when you lose people, they say to you, God knows best, they are your angels now. Yes, they are our angels now. But you need to find the coping mechanism to cope with your angels around you. Also, the environment around us may affect how we grieve. It's entirely up to you. Some people tend to drinking when they lose someone or they lose a job, because I told you that losing a job could also put us in the state of grieving. Losing a property could put us in a state of grieving. Losing a child, losing some huge amount of money, moving from home to live on your own could also put us also in the state of grieving. So every stage in life might have a grieving state for someone, depending on who that person is. There are different cycles of grief. It could start with the denial process where you say, it can't be. It's never true. That is not fair. That is the denial stage. Yes, we all experience the denial stage because we don't expect it to come. And then we go to the state of anger. That is when you become so angry because probably you were not talking to that person, because probably maybe you didn't love that person much, because probably you put that person off, because probably you could have done much better for that person, or probably you wish there could have been a better relationship between you and that person. So we go to that stage of anger. Then we start blaming things and start blaming people around us, start blaming everything around us. We start shutting off. And then we also go through the process of depression. Not everybody goes through the depression and anxiety, but then it comes in one way or the other. That feeling of bargaining. We go to that stage of bargaining. The feel of guilt. Feeling so guilty. I felt so guilty when I couldn't go when my mom was on her sick bed. Because I felt she is strong. My mom is just strong. She's not going anywhere anytime soon. I started feeling very guilty. I felt very guilty when my best friend on that last day said to me, "Don't go anywhere and leave me. Please don't leave me." Her voice keeps resounding in my mind. "Please don't go. Please don't leave me." I remember sitting down and then trying to make that decision. Do I really go or do I really stay here with her? I've been with her for these number of days. And it's just 2 days I've been with her, and that's the third day. And I'm sitting there and thinking between work and my loved one. I do whatever I need to do for her. I give her the bucket she asked for. I gave her whatever she wanted. I looked her in her eyes and she says to me, "Why are you looking at me that way? Am I looking so different for you?" I remember all those things she said to me and all that minutes or all that few minutes we spent together. I feel so guilty and blame myself for leaving her for someone else, for her cousin to sit next to her and take care of her. So that guilt, there are different guilts that people go through. And it makes our grieving process, and that mourning process, it makes it longer and longer and longer, because there are times we keep on having to feel that guilt and we burst out to cry. That means the grief never ends, does it? We burst out to cry because we are feeling guilty, because we are feeling anxious, because we are down and depressed and we are feeling overwhelmed. There might still be some fear at the back of our mind. There might still feel some uncomfortability in our lives. But with my way of coping, sometimes I'm doing things and then I say in my spirit, or I speak it out and say, "Mom, do you think this is the right thing I'm doing?" Or I mention my loved one's name or say, "Yeah, is this the right thing I'm doing? Am I doing it right?" Let something go wrong if I'm not doing right. Distract me with something else. Let me know I am not doing the right thing. That is my coping mechanism. I am just talking into the universe as though my loved ones are around me. That is the way I deal with my grief. I jump around because I know my mom will love it. I dance because I know my mom will love it. I make merry, I become happy because I know my friend will love it. I know my grandparents will love it. I know the people who I used to have will love it. So I do things not to just please myself, also to please the people I have lost in my life, because I know that is how they would love me doing it. To me, I try to live my best because I believe that if they were here, they would give me that and say, kudos to you. Yes, you're doing the right thing. Keep on keeping on. And that is what I am doing. Then we get to the stage of acceptance where we will tend to accept that, yes, that person is gone, but then we don't accept it completely because sometimes people don't accept it. They just have to live with the fact that they are still alive. I was at that stage at some point. I just said to myself, yes, my mom is still there. She's back in Ghana. She's waiting for me. Let's just take it that I just can't hear her voice on the line. Yes, I know she's there. That is me. That was a way of me trying to accept that she was gone. The only way to accept it was to go to her grave all the time, continuously, and to talk about it with my siblings and everybody else, and to talk about all the good memory. And that is the way of me handling my grief. There'll be long days of sadness. Yes, sadness will never leave your side. Sadness, I would say, becomes your counterpart, becomes your best friend. You call on it when you feel like it. But then don't let your sadness take the whole day. Let your sadness take just a little bit of your time. Let your sadness take a portion of your life, not overshadow everything else. Yes, sadness is part of grieving. Why don't you channel your sadness into something positive? When you see me jumping, when you see me dancing, you see me cooking, you see me making merry, you see me doing anything else, it is my coping strategy. Because I am channeling that sadness, that grieving moment into something positive. Grief is never easy. We always experience grief differently. And as I said, grief is dynamic. Different people experience grief differently. Some people might get to that state where they think they would want to take their own life in some way or the other. But that is not the right way. Talk to positive people. Get the positive energy and the positive vibe around you. And as I said, all days are not the same. Days that you are feeling extra down. If it is the music you love, if you've got a specific music you love, maybe your loved one love listening to some music with you. You know their playlist. Listen to that playlist. Yes, it's okay to listen to the playlist. It's okay to go to somewhere memorable that you used to go with a person or the family member or your loved ones. It's good to visit memories. It's good. It's a good thing to visit your past memory with that person or whoever they are. You can also make yourself a memory book. Sometimes we have photo albums, isn't it? We have them on our phones now, digital world. We have them on our phones, photos on our phones, or even the proper paper ones and all that. I know I've got a very big photo of my mom. And I usually look at it and talk to it. And whenever I enter that hall, I say good evening to everybody and I say, good evening, Mom. Yes, that is me. Sometimes I have to look on my phone and say, good morning, Mom. Because I believe she's still with me, because I am still grieving, but I am grieving in a different way. I do it with a smile this time, not with tears in my eyes. Yes, there are days I will cry. There are days I will feel so downhearted. I will look at dancing videos. I will look at playing games or doing things with my loved ones on my phone. Cry. Then in the end, there might be something funny that will change the whole attitude and make me smile instead. Then that means I have overcome some sadness one way or the other. That is the way I deal with my grief. You could try it too. The other thing is exercising. Exercise is a very, very good way to deal with grief. It keeps you calm. It helps you to channel your energy into something good for your own self. Most times when we are going through grief, we tend to eat. Sometimes we tend to eat unhealthy. For some people, it becomes a matter of, I don't care. They eat whatever and whenever. I went through that stage. When I lost my mom, it was a shock. That shock stopped me from eating for a while. That shock broke me down completely. That denial got me broken completely. So I didn't want to eat. I didn't want to drink and all that. Then the grief process turned into something else. It turned into I don't care. I didn't care about what I was wearing. I didn't care if I was taking a shower or not, but I was being forced to do that. I was just eating. Just like that. I didn't care about what I was eating. I didn't care if I was exercising or not. I just didn't care for over a year. I wasn't working. But yeah, it was okay in my account. I was just eating whatever, being in places where everybody was because I was in a scared mood. I was restless. I was having sleepless nights. I was having bad dreams. My physical appearance was very, very poor and bad. I was putting on weight unknowingly because I just didn't care. My whole state of mind went into the state of, I don't care if I also go. But losing someone is not the end of our life. It's not the end for us. We need to learn to cope with it. We need to learn to eat healthy. We need to learn to do a bit of exercise. Do things we love. Do things that that person loved. Sometimes we can lead that sort of dream the person wanted you to lead. Maybe the things you used to talk about with the person. I remember talking about sewing with my mom. I remember my mom loved it when I was doing my paintings. I remember she especially loved it when I was exercising because I would stand in front of the television and prevent everybody from watching the TV and do my exercises and make sure my mom and my dad were joining in it. We would go for a walk within the house. We would do all sorts of things. And that is how I remember my loved one. Why don't you also try finding a coping mechanism for your grief by remembering your loved one with the things you were passionate about, with the things you talked about with the person? Adopting new strategies, adapting new ways to cope with life. I know it's easier said than done, but don't forget, I am talking from my own experience. I am not talking from what I have read. I am not talking from a video I have watched. I am talking from my own experience, losing loved ones. I remember losing my aunt. It wasn't easy for me as well. When I lost my aunt, I remember just before I lost her, that was the very first time I had gone to say to my mom and dad I wanted to get married for the first time. I remember my mom and dad were not ready for that news from me. They said, no, you're not getting married? No. We are not going to let you get married. It was tough for me because to me, I felt I loved that person so much and I needed to get married. All my parents kept on talking about was, no, you're going to continue your education. You finish your uni education, you're going to do your master's degree and on to your PhD. That is what we want for you. We don't want you getting married. As stubborn as I am, I knew how best to get around that. I went to my auntie and said, Aunt, you've got to talk them out of this and let them know. So yari, carry forward. My aunt convinced my mom and dad, and luckily for me, they said, yes, we agree, you're going to get married. I went, broke the news to my aunt, and my aunt kept on saying to me, when you're ready to get married, then when the day comes, I will not be there. I will be traveling. Just say, my dream number before for crowd, I ran a major home. Oh, my auntie so my warrior time, the best no too quite. I never knew she was telling me something. She kept on saying it over and over and over. I remember I spent a whole day with her, and all she kept on saying to me is, I'm telling you again, by the day of your marriage, I would have traveled. I didn't understand. My aunt repeated it so many times, not knowing she knew exactly what she was talking about. She said, I would have traveled by your marriage time. You deserve all the happiness. I'll be supporting you. Your brothers and sisters, she calls them my cousins, yes, will try and come around that time, but I would have traveled by then. I never knew she was telling me she was going to pass away. And when I went to tell her, it was just a few days before my marriage anyway. And she passed away. It was so sad for me. That was when I remember she said to me, I would have traveled. I would have traveled. She kept on mentioning, her voice keeps on resounding in my mind. My daughter, on the day of your marriage, I would have traveled by then. Sometimes when people are going to the next world, they are able to tell us, they are able to see it, isn't it? But sometimes we are stubborn. I was stubborn. I wasn't thinking about what she was telling me, that she would have traveled by then. I was just thinking about the marriage, and not paying any attention to what my lovely auntie was telling me. I lived with the pain of regret. I lived with the pain of guilt, of not telling my dad all that she told me when I went to her. Maybe someone would have paid proper attention to the things she was saying. Well, I'll say to you again, this is how I deal with my grief. I pretend my people are around me and I talk to them constantly. I have a laugh with them even though I can't see them. I am crazy. Call me crazy. Yes, I am crazy. Sometimes I drive and then I sit in my car and I pretend they are sitting there and I'm talking to them in my car. Sometimes I look in the rear mirror and say, are you there? Yes, I am crazy. Call me crazy. But that is my coping mechanism. I lay in my bed and sometimes I talk to them because to me, I feel they are around me. I feel they can hear me. As I talk to God, I talk to my loved ones as well. Try it. You might like it too. Try it. It might be a good coping mechanism for you as well. When you feel like crying, cry. Don't let anyone tell you otherwise. It's a way of relieving yourself of some of the grief pain. You don't have to cry in front of everyone. You don't have to cry in front of your children and all other people. You can go and lock yourself up in a room, somewhere away from everyone else. Isolate yourself, cry, wipe your face nicely and come back. Take that pain out of you. If you want to scream, scream. My way of screaming is tucking a towel in my mouth and I hold on so tight to it. Lock myself in the toilet and I scream as loud as I can into the towel because that sound will not come out loud enough for everybody else to hear. Sometimes I think I'm loud enough and my people knock on the door and go, "Oh, you're okay." That is the statement in my house. "Oh, you're okay." Whoever knows me very well knows I love to use the statement, "Oh, you're okay." My whole family use it as well. So if you have to lock yourself up and cry, cry. Go to memorable places that you've been with these people. Watch a movie, play a music that they love, that you love to listen to with them. Don't live in the regrets. They are past and gone. If the things you had wanted to do for these people, you couldn't do it for them because they are gone, show that love to someone else and make sure it is fulfilled in one way or the other. Fulfill those dreams, those ideas you talked about with these people, and make sure you are happy, but still grieve them in your own special way. I still grieve my people in my own special way, but I cry less because I have turned it into laughter for myself and my spiritual beings around me. To me, they are spirits around me all the time. I talk to them. I smile with them. I giggle with them. Sometimes when I'm walking out through the door, I go, "Ma ubeko, mama anti ubeko mumi enkoi." That is me. I'm crazy. Call me crazy. But that is my coping strategy. Grief is dynamic to everyone. It's inevitable. Everybody may lose someone in one way or the other, especially during this pandemic. People have lost jobs, which is a form of grieving process for them. People have lost families and relations, which is a grieving process. People had to be isolated from their usual people they know, from their family. That will cause them to grieve. Some people might have lost money, might have lost the use of their cars or some part of their body. That is also going to be a form of grieving process. So grief is not only when you lose someone, but then it is the word loss in all cases. Leaving home, probably graduating from school alone even can be a grieving time for someone because probably the person might have spent 4 years, 5 years in uni or school and then leaving there and going somewhere else. It's another grieving process, you know. They missed certain things and it's a grief process for them. Hopefully, I have mentioned a lot of things that will help you to find a coping strategy for your own self with your own grief as well. Smile. Keep smiling. Even though behind your smile, there is dripping tears. Be happy in every way. And believe that the people you are grieving for, or the people you are still mourning, or the job you are mourning, the money you are mourning, the life you are mourning for, will be pleased to see you happy. Thank you for listening to me tonight. I'm your girl, Diamond Lady. I am so glad and so pleased you came to listen to me tonight. You can drop your comments. You can drop your questions. If you're watching me later on at some point, leave us a comment, leave us questions. Just give us a thumbs up. Tell us where you're watching and listening to us from. Don't forget we are on Instagram and don't forget we are on YouTube. Just search for the name Diamond Lady TV. I just read a few of my comments. So we had Maggie Welton saying, thanks for sharing. Thanks, Maggie, for the support. Rosemary Ofori says, wow, thanks for sharing. And thanks for listening to me as well. I am so pleased to be able to share my own grieving process with you, even though I might have cut it short. I'm hoping this will help someone as well out there. I have never stopped grieving, and I don't think I will ever stop grieving. But then I have rather found other coping ways to cope with it properly, to fit myself back into society. Society might not accept the things I might do sometimes, but that is my coping strategy. Don't be looking at society and thinking they are frowning on things you are doing. Do things that will make you happy. Do things that will please your own heart and soul. And if that is your coping strategy, stick to it. Don't let anyone tell you otherwise. But then don't forget, you need to exercise more, eat healthy, try and get yourself out of the anxiety and depression side, and rather come to the positive light. Don't hide in the darkness. Don't isolate yourself. Yes, there will be that point where you don't feel like talking to people. I have experienced it so many times. I remember I was isolating myself so much after my first marriage breakdown. You might avoid phone calls and all that because there are grieving processes and all that. And when people are going through grief, sometimes we need to learn to give them that space. In their own time, they will pick up life again. Yes, help them by sending them maybe comfortable or comforting messages here and there. They might not answer your call. That doesn't mean you have to give up on them. No. It's so annoying, yes, when you call people who are grieving and they are not answering your call. Yes, because they are grieving. They are sad. They are saddened so much they don't feel like talking to anyone. They don't feel like doing anything with anyone. Give them the time, but don't give up on them. Say your prayer for them, but don't give up on them. Don't break your friendship with someone because they are grieving and they are acting differently. Grief changes people so many ways. Grief is natural and is part of life. Thank you once again. I'd like to say thank you to NK Puzzles for supporting us tonight. Thank you, Tidbits Yummies, for supporting us. Thank you, Sister United Foundation. Thank you, Sister Eat Fit Lose. Thank you to Sister United itself. And thank you to Sinaka Kitchen. Thank you to Mama Z European Shop. Thank you to Unique. Okay, thank you to Vinci Collection. I am definitely going to wear one of their collection tomorrow. Hopefully, I might come on with someone, or I might come on all by myself and talk about something dear to my heart once again. And if you're looking for the Beaufort mix to buy, the jollof mix, the 10 spice blend, the Soyalicious, and all other products that Sister United Foods sell here in England, just search for Sister United on eBay or search for them on Instagram, and then you can place your order, which will be delivered to you. I am so grateful I was able to come on tonight to do this whole show all by myself, and I am so grateful for all those who were able to support me tonight by dropping a few messages here and there, and those who were able to watch. And thank you for all the thumbs up. Thank you for those who shared and who listened in on YouTube, on Instagram, and on Facebook. Until I come your way again, this is your girl, Diamond Lady. Have a good evening. Thank you. Bye. Bye.